starting this recording right off into the during Christmas morning. Pretty much way to start the new year, am I right? So, I want to try to join in the effort of holding women accountable and pointing out when I see misogyny from men also. Because I don't want to pretend like the modern woman is 100% the issue when it's not. But there also needs to be, we need to create a movement of equal accountability. And for far too long, women been having it a bit too easy when it comes to that. Their standards are just the standards held to women, that is. It's just either not the same, a bit lackluster, or even when the side that does hold women accountable kind of does it through the lens of all Western women are the issue. And that includes even the ones from down south. Like, I know there's a lot of Republic conservative women out there, and I know they do not relate at all to liberal women. I just don't think they realize that when it comes to this red pill stuff, that when they say Western women, they mean all women, pretty much, that are in the United States of America. Once you see the comments that I've seen in certain red pill videos, you could literally, as a woman, offer yourself up for slavery, and it still wouldn't be good enough for some of these red pillar men, because they have a suspicion of the female gender, just like how misandrists have a default suspicion of men just by gender. That's why I always call misogynists, I call misogynists gender swapped misandrists, because you take what they say and just slightly change it to how a woman would speak if she was misogynistic towards a man, and it'd be pretty much copy and paste. So yeah, I know I won't be perfect in trying to hold women accountable, since I am a woman. So I do want to acknowledge I do come from a biased experience as a woman, but I do want to fight against that. I do want to correct myself when I can. So how I'm going to do this is, starting off in the new year, I'm going to make, not a campaign, but you know how Charlie Kirk and some of these right-wing men be creating these open public discussions, like a table, like pretty much they'll pick somewhere public, have a table with a banner on it, and I want to do something similar, but kind of make it my own thing, where it's like I want to hold women accountable, like bring something to their attention, like maybe they just don't think about it as much. I just want to give them a benefit of doubt, but also I know too that they may be aware, but don't care. But I just don't want to say all women, because that's not fair. Just like it's not fair to say all men. What I'm trying to bring attention is the double standard when it comes to pornography. Excuse my language. Where they have these books are basically called spicy books, but in reality, it is erotica, basically written porn hidden behind a book cover. Now, it's not anything like the romance books in the past where you actually had, meaning to it with some, like, kissing, whatever. These romance books have gone from that to basically Pornhub style, choke me out, daddy type of content, but in a written format. Because for women, we like, unlike with like, no, there's women who watch, visual porn also. It's just, when it comes to written porn, it's just a more more of a woman thing. I'm sorry. Like, it's, there's a high majority are women that get into that type of content. And I'm not saying we should, like, censor it or whatever, but it should be, like, a designated place that's not Barnes and Noble, but, like, adult bookstore or something that you can only buy online. Because when I walk into Barnes and Noble, you pretty much, there's no way you cannot see it. And I just think it's hypocritical when men can't do the same, just because men are easily shamed of, not only do they feel shame, but they also put shame upon them if they were to ever consume the type of porn that they want to out in public. You don't see Barnes and Noble putting porn that's geared towards men out on, display shelves. And I almost want to see if I can, like, test public reactions almost. I don't know how yet, but I wondered if, like, somehow I can make a bunch of fake book covers. Somehow, probably not really, but somehow put them on, like, a Barnes and Noble shelf where it's a exact same thing, like a spicy book, but it's obviously geared towards a man, and see if it's just as accepted. And I bet you my bottom dollar it wouldn't. Granted, I could be wrong, but anyway, I want to push for, if we're gonna hold the standard of that pornographic content should not be out in public, that people should not take any type of, like, celebration or easily accessible methods of consuming porn. If we really want to push porn out of our society, like, I know that's gonna be a hard battle too, but I also want to make women realize that just because it's a book does not make it any less more pornographic. That you are addicted to it if you constantly need to read it. Like, the amount of intensity that these erotic books have been building up is kind of, like, low-key ridiculous, to the point where these male characters are not even human anymore. It's gotten that bad to where it's like you thought, like, werewolves were, or vampires, but now it's gone to, like, Neanderthal, basically a like a troll, or like a basically something that's either not human or so animal-like that the only human aspect about it is the abs. So yeah, I want to try to, try to get some, like, imagery into these women's minds, like how not normal this is. Like, I hope I can make them realize that they have a problem. I don't just think I think because it's in a written format is the reason why I think the reason why I realize they don't have a problem. If I were to take a scene from any of those books and put it into a picture format, maybe that would reach them better, make them realize, like, I know you have needs, I know you have, like, lust, but make them realize that this type of content is not suitable for, like, easy access, like Barnes and Noble. I know I keep bringing Barnes and Noble because that's my only example, because Barnes and Noble is, literally displays these books. It's probably these books are probably out in other types of, like, other type of libraries or types of, like, public, easily accessible public places where you can buy literally, like, only, like, maybe, like, a few aisles over, across the not across the building, but maybe, like, 5 aisles over, it's the kids section or something. So I'm going to try. My type of format, though, I probably won't record my engagement because I'm literally nobody. And plus, I think that people would have more of an honest interaction if they wouldn't record everything. If we want people to think we're genuine about what we care about, or want to try to genuinely, like, lower their guard so they actually be a little bit more accepting to what we're saying, I think not recording will accomplish that. I can always record, like, my what happens later. Of course, I know that there's a certain risk when it comes to doing that, and I thought about, like, having a, like, like, I don't know, like, how to record, but have them know it's never gonna be public. It's just for, like, a safety reason, or just make sure I always have someone near me or something like that. Because when you push back on this pro-sexuality, like, sexual society, the people tend to get very, animated. It's a PG way to put it. But yeah, I'm willing to put myself out there, willing to risk it, probably not. I mean, I just highly doubt that I'd be, like, I don't want to assume that I'm just going to be attacked, or, because that's a victim mindset already. Even though people tend to be more combative, anything they consider, like, oh, you're trying to censor, blah, blah, blah. Even though, when it comes to censorship, only, like far right, what's considered far right is, seemed as, when it seems to censoring what is considered far right is okay, but trying to bring anything attention that seems to be more liberal or more like, I don't know, more free expression, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Trying to criticize that is, not okay and to a lot of people, but, oh well. I don't know. I just think if I didn't record, and maybe I'll get people to not be on guard. As a Christian woman too, not, I don't want to say as a Christian, but a woman who pursues Christ. I think half the time the reason why people are so jaded, half the time it's like, because every good, I'm not saying no Christian should ever put Christian content out there when it comes to engagement. I'm just thinking that it would be nice if someone would engage to the public without recording, and I'm going to try that, and probably not be as successful, probably flunder, but you know, I can always try and see what happens, right? You know, pick a public space. Hopefully, I get some type of engagement. I'm not expecting engagement right away. Obviously, I'm probably going to stand there for a minute or two with nothing going on, but you know. But I have to be willing to speak out, and then when you speak out, you generally, that's when you're trying to draw attention to yourself. So, wish me luck on that, I guess. I'm not going to do it now because it's too cold. But granted, if I actually cared, it doesn't matter what the temperature is. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm just going to have to figure it out eventually, hopefully, and start doing that. Be the change that I want. I start implementing, or you know, be the change that I want to see in society. So yeah, sorry for the nonsensical rambling. I know that I really never plan any of these videos. I just kind of just upload either when I feel like it or when I have an idea hit me, and I literally make no video scripts and just kind of go off the fly. So yeah. Let me know if you want me to make any more. I mean, no, I shouldn't ask. I don't know. Because I don't have much of an audience. I practically have none. Besides, I don't know, 4 people, if that. I used to have a higher engagement when I was into that anti-SJW stuff, but I left it for a reason, because it is just the same echo chamber mind wash, where you know, people pretty much just circle jerk each other about how much they don't like a certain group. But ever since I left that type of environment, I had barely to none engagement at all. But it is a good decision, because I just think we need we need more where we could just all just agree, when we come on just even the smallest ideas to agree on, and then push for that in general. Especially when I just want to pursue Christ. So I'm trying to lead the political sphere, although I have not been successful. I can't help it, man. But you know, I'm slowly getting there. I'm not talking about political stuff almost every single day. I need to go back to doing, talk about Christ, obviously, and doing hobbies again, and maybe do hobby-oriented and Christian content type of videos. If you're not into that, that's okay. I understand. When I first started this channel, it was very I barely started it at all. When I first engaged in the SJW content, it was mostly on Twitter when it was good. That's when I had a lot of engagement, but ever since I left. But yeah, I wish I would have stopped myself from joining that type of thing. But thing is, back before I realized I was in anti-SJW content, it used to start out just making fun of absurd stuff, someone when pretty much just it's making fun of home videos of people just recording themselves saying absolute nonsense or doing doing dumb things. And then as time went on, it slowly transitioned to anti-SJW content. And I guess I really didn't I realized the change, but I was so used to consuming that I didn't want to leave, because I didn't know what else to consume entertainment wise. Yeah, so yeah. So yeah. Stuff like that. And And I don't consider this what I'm about to say. I'm change of subject. Sorry. I don't consider this political, but I am considering. I've been leaning towards abolitionism of abortion lately. I'm not quite there yet because I still have so many questions about it. Like, I just want to know like the legal process. Like if it, I obviously a big criticism of in my mind. It's like if it ever, possibly never, gonna happen. Not when you have the current administration right now. Like like as much as Republicans promise to get rid of abortion, they never really do. Um. So, yeah, and abolitionists are normally very right leaning, and sometimes I wish I could tell them like they should try to delete politics altogether because Republicans will promise to get rid of abortions until the cows come home, but unfortunately, abortion itself creates a lot of tax revenue, so they're never really gonna get rid of it. They may leave it up to the states, like how Trump did. See, and I see. I'm talking about politics. I'm just trying. It's just tied in to I'm considering becoming abolitionist. I'm just not confident in it yet. Basically. Anyway. Alright. Sorry for this strange random video yet again.